you do not have support identified before it hits the fan, your amygdala overrides trust. We do not trust people when we're in the amygdala hijack moment. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now let me show you what this looks like real time, okay? So training, leadership, psychological first aid, and critical incident stress management. If we don't do those pieces, we will end up over here. Brush fires, conflict. How many of us have people in the workplace, no names, how many of us have people in the workplace that is just like nails on a blackboard? Now, what happens to you when you're stressed and they're just being themselves? You know what I'm describing? Because that kind of moment of time, my wife and I, we still do it. I've got the stupid pill in our marriage, okay? It sounds really good here. The problem is when it comes here. When I get stressed, my attention span is that long. And my wife is a verbal processor. She likes to talk things through. I don't have the attention span, especially if I'm stressed. So I say things like, Carolyn, I'm not focusing right now. Do you have a point? We normally get right to the point. Okay? Guess what happens in our homes, folks? You get stressed. If your partner has a bad call and they come home and you want to, well, tell me all about it. Sometimes what they want to say to us is, quote Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. So don't pry. Don't do that to them. So when I've had, over the years of work, I've had some really ugly stuff. And the ones that often hook me is when I'm doing a death notification, especially involving a child. And I came home from one, and over the years, Carolyn and I have kind of worked some things out, and she said, it looks like that was a bad call for you. Yes, it was. Let's go for a walk. Are we going to talk, Carolyn? No, we're just going for a walk. I can do that. We didn't make it 200 meters. And she did so John, I said, I thought you said we weren't going to talk. And you know that sounds good here. Now, what we have been able to do is we start the walk and she'll say, I am here when you want or are ready to talk, but I will not cry. Do you know how much freedom that gives me? Because we've gone for an hour's walk and I haven't said a word. And that part of that is personality as well. And so understanding those qualities about your significant person, because then we end up with performance issues. I have now heard of several employers that are saying to their volunteer fire sector, you choose your job or you choose volunteer fire, but you're not doing both. Because if you have an ugly call and this part of your brain is not in gear, when you come back to work and you make mistakes, it's the employer that has to live with the mistake. So it's a simple solution. Choose volunteer fire or work. Performance issue. It is not a performance issue. It is a stress issue. Let me illustrate this in a very tangible way. How do you think, for those of you who do not get it, Burnstown is McNabb Braeside Fire Service. Even the news is reporting it as near Calabogie. For anybody from Calabogie area, that's not Calabogie, that's Burnstown. You don't think that those fire EMS, never mind the OPP that are based out of, I think they're out of Renfrew, maybe they are. You don't think that 4 fatals of 17, well, 2 fatals of a 17-year-old had probably had a significant change in their everyday functioning? I would hope so. Because if they haven't had an impact, then you got a bigger problem.